Fortnite Absolute Doom has been the craziest season for the storyline yet. From the arrival of Doom, his defeat, and the appearance of an unexpected villain, this season has had two different events. And that starts with the event where Doom betrayed Megalodon after promising success with his plan. Pandora's box was uncovered below the rig, and it was revealed that it had been producing nitro inside of the wasteland ever since Chapter 5 Season 2's event. Doom, revealing himself as the Wanderer, managed to steal the box and seize all of its powers, draining the box's orb of its godly glow. A lot of us wondered what happened to Megalodon after that, and if you talk to Rust, he reveals that Doom got rid of Megalo, implying he defeated him for once and for all. After recruiting his allies from the Fortnite universe as well as Marvel's, Doom conjured up Castle Doom from the Marvel universe, but it's what lies inside the castle that reveals what Doom may be after. Inside the castle, you might spot a mosaic of a female figure. That is none other than Cynthia Von Doom, Doom's mother, one of the very few people he respects. Around the island, there's several different memorials of her. Even the capital city of Latveria, Doom's country, was named that in honor of his mother. Keep this in mind because Cynthia's return is the key to our secret villain, which we're gonna go over soon. In his dialogues, Doom speaks to his mother, telling her that the island is full of imperfection and failure, but it won't be this way for long.
This place reeks of failure, of fault, of imperfection.
His attempt at opening Pandora's box left him powerful, but with a vacant hunger for more.
I feel nothing but vacant hunger. It must be the box.
The box almost ate him alive, and even he knows that attempting to open it again would destroy him. So he has a new plan, and it requires building a brand new armor, one that'll be able to control the box's wrath and chaotic power.
Using the box again without my armor appropriately upgraded would be unwise.
Once that's done, he'll be ready to impose his anger and change the island, making it in his perfect image.
When all is reborn in my perfect image, I will never fail again.
This isn't all, as the plot's connected to a giant forge that you can see located by Castle Doom. You might have spotted a giant chimney spewing out many fumes. You can even see the pipes going underground to the island, and this has sparked a lot of discussion within the community. Inside the forge you can see an anvil, and it's where Doom will be building his new armor. The armor is said to use pieces from Pandora's box in future updates, and we may even have an early look at it. Inside Doom's castle, there's paintings of him wearing a different armor to the one that he's using now, and it does seem to match the godly colors of Pandora's box, giving us a hint at what Doom may look like very soon. And around the forge, you'll notice something is very strange. That's hinting at the entire plot of season 4 and the fact Doom isn't our real villain. He wants a perfect world, and around the forge, there's different runes filled with lava and what appears to be this summoning circle. What gives everything away though is the fact that one of the fireplaces located in the underworld has been stolen and now can be found at the center of this summoning circle. Combine this with the lava found all around the forge and you have your answer. Inside these, Cynthia Von Doom's soul has been retaken into the underworld and kept by its ruler Mephisto. Every year, Dr. Doom tries to reclaim his mother's soul by forcing his way into hell to fight Mephisto himself, and if he defeats him, he can free his mother's soul. Each year, he loses against Mephisto because he's far too powerful. But the way the theory goes is that by managing to control something as powerful as Pandora's box, and with his armor upgrades, he'll finally have what it takes to best Mephisto in combat. In this massive plot for the fate of reality, Hope is the prophecy's chosen one, the one who will manage to defeat Doom and everything that comes her way. However, she feels like she isn't ready for the burden of all reality relying on her because it's too great of a pain to handle. Jones has been there, so he's doing everything he can to help, in this case tracking down Doom. Victor himself is currently hiding on the island while he's trying to build his new armor, and he's left Doombots in his own place to control his army. Jones with the Oracle continue to track him down, but with little luck so far. The reality ending war has reminded Jones of some of his own past heroics on the island, and he even mentions some old characters that we haven't heard of in forever. In dialogue, he explains that in the past he didn't know why he was chosen to assist in the wars while multiple heroes were flying around in high-tech suits. This of course refers to the Foundation and the rest of the 7 in Chapter 3 Season 2. There's also another reference to a character we last heard of in Fortnite OG. When talking about the Oracle, Jones says that at least this ally isn't going to betray him and try to shoot him, which is a nod to Sloane betraying him and attempting to shoot him with her tank in Collision. The Oracle, however, has given another prophecy to Hope. She tells her that she can foresee a feline ally, a cunning plan, and a victory hidden in defeat.
I have seen something new. A feline ally. A cunning plan. A victory hidden in defeat.
It's also clear that when facing Doom, Hope will lose the battle, but victory will be hidden in defeat, meaning that she'll likely lose the battle but win the war. This aligns with the past prophecy of Hope being lost but found again, so this was a massive teaser for the end of Chapter 5 all along. The reason Hope is going to lose this battle is because this version of Doom is the most powerful that we've ever seen. He defeated so many of the heroes and villains from his universe, including Thor, Iron Man, Thanos, Ultron, Moon Knight, Doctor Strange, Fantastic Four entirely, and there's even hints to him taking down Galactus. So he by far is the most dangerous and powerful variant of Doom in all reality. This makes sense once you realize that the entire story of this season is connected to the one of Zero War. Within those comics, Doom raided the Ice King's castle on the Ice Moon, collecting many of his powerful weapons and artifacts from across reality. While he was supposed to use those to help the Imagined Order against the Seven, he betrayed them, going back to the Marvel reality with all of his newly stolen weapons for his own use. This is how he managed to defeat all those characters, but he also teased his purpose on the island now. He told the Isle that only someone as capable as him would be strong enough to accomplish their goal of the perfect society, and we're already seeing it play out right now. Even Shuri and Jones have backstory this season, because during Zero War's comics they came a bit closer. This season you can spot them working together in one of the loading screens, and it looks like they're upgrading the rift beacons that Magneto placed down in season 3. If you talk now to Gwenpool, who's held prisoner in the raft, she reveals Shuri has been asking for some electronic chips and she needs them for rift tech. So she may be working towards bringing even more heroes on the island to face Doom. Doom himself though is leveling up his game because he's looking for different artifacts underground, and alongside them the most powerful object in the entire Omniverse. In order to enhance his armor, Doom has created many different dig sites around the map looking for other ancient artifacts from the Olympians. You can find his henchmen patrolling the underworld, Mount Olympus, and a couple of other spots, but those are not the only things that he's looking for under the island. Because after an entire chapter without it, the Zero Point is finally making its return. If you go to the Doomsat POI, you can find a board with what appears to be the island's central lake with the 0 point drawn on its center. And if you align the shape of the lake on the board with the one we have on the map, they match almost perfectly. This means that just like the Imagined Order used the 0 point in order to create their perfect society, Doom will attempt to find and use it as well to perfect the island and reality. To understand how all this plays out, we also need to go back in time to how it all started, with the 0 point being the reason once again. The story of Galactus in Fortnite begins early in chapter 1 during the end event. As Donald Mustard stated, who at the time was in charge of Fortnite's storyline, during the end event, the 0 point reorganized matter on the chapter 1 island, recreating the chapter 2 map as we came to know it. But because it unleashed so much energy in doing so, it created a massive explosion that was felt in the entire Omniverse, reaching even reality 616, which is Marvel's universe. And this all ties in with Dr. Doom's plan and even how Galactus now has wound up on the current island. We see this happen all the time in the Nexus War comic pages that were released within the Fortnite lobby at the time. Yes, in chapter 2 season 3, for the build up there were comics appearing, and in the Marvel Comics universe, Thor had previously become Galactus's herald, finding planets for him to consume to get even more powerful. As the herald, Thor had no other choice but to do this, because there was a much bigger, greater evil lurking in the shadows. This was called the Black Winter, an entity that was much stronger than Galactus and much bigger, one threatening the entire universe. Therefore, Thor began searching for planets with no life on them for Galactus to eat, but it was then when he sensed something else. Galactus sensed a reality with unfathomable power, and if he consumed that, then he would become the most powerful in every universe. Being his greedy self, he rushed into a rift, leading him directly to Reality Zero, Fortnite's reality, and Thor also managed to get in at the last minute, but he came closer to the island to warn the civilians of the strange world Galactus was heading to. But the story of Galactus is just getting started here. Thor arrived a lot faster than Galactus, but they were both slow, because by the time he reached the island, the 0 point had already reorganized the map into the chapter 2 island. He tried to warn the island's loopers that they were in danger as the Devourer of Worlds was approaching fast, but he instantly realized that there was something strange about this place. The people there were muted, and the loop forced them to forget who they were, resulting to Thor almost losing himself in the process. The island pulled away his memories, and he almost fought with the inhabitants of Reality Zero, Fortnite's island, but he managed to resist the loop's effect enough and called to summon more heroes in the battle against Galactus, bringing the iconic heroes and villains that we met in Nexus War. Galactus' story doesn't end here, because later, with the arrival of Stark Industries, while it gets unnoticed many times, we started to see the arrival of Galactus' drones. With him getting closer and closer to the island each week, he started to send his drones to wreak havoc on the island and prepare it for his own arrival. We would see these drones again in the Devourer of Worlds event, and Galactus would eventually reappear chapters later. But before we get there, and before we get to the event, we need to talk about Galactus' menacing arrival to the island just before the event, and the plan to stop him. In the last few weeks of Nexus War, Galactus finally reached the island, and he could no longer be seen off in the distance. Instead, he was now slowly rising from outside of Reality Zero as we got closer and closer to the live event. Even in the Battle Pass tab, you could now see Galactus' hologram rising until eventually he was covering the whole island. At the same time, over by Stark Industries, Iron Man had a plan to save us all and send Galactus back to where he came from. He began tampering with battle buses and upgrading them with all sorts of equipment and gamma energy, the energy used by the Hulk. This would go on for weeks until his plan was revealed. The wait was finally over, and we were all placed on top of S.H.I.E.L.D's helicarrier as the Devourer of Worlds Galactus himself finally reached the island. Rising up, he declared his hunger for power and powered up, ready to consume the center of all realities, Fortnite's 0 point. First, however, he had to get rid of any opposition, so he raised his arm, destroying the S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier that we were standing on with ease. And then he aimed straight for the Authority, where the 0 point was hiding underneath. As we fell from the sky to our doom, Iron Man came to the rescue, giving us Stark jetpacks and unveiling his plan. Using the 0 point, he made us transport into the in-between, the inside of the 0 point. As Galactus was consuming it, we had only a few minutes to stop him, and Iron Man revealed that he'd hacked the loop to create a few billion Battle Bus clones, then weaponized them and turned them into very powerful bombs so that he could lure Galactus into eating them. This would result into Galactus being rifted back home to where he came from, and so the final battle began. There was a little bit of filler, but in the final act to save all of reality, we drove the battle buses against Galactus and his drones, which he unleashed on us once again. Taking them down with the help of heroes like Thor, Wolverine, and even Storm, we managed to reach Galactus, who ended up taking the bait. He started consuming all of the battle buses, and when he ate every last one of them, he realized his mistake instantly. He began to emit gamma radiation from his body, resulting into a huge rift opening and sending him right back to Marvel's universe. And while not a lot of people know about it, his story would continue, and we know exactly what happened between this and his new appearance in Fortnite Absolute Doom. Because after the event in Fortnite, both Thor and Galactus returned to the Marvel universe, where Thor was furious about Galactus abandoning the mission against the Black Winter for him to try and destroy the Omniverse. In a moment of rage, Thor used his hammer to extract the power cosmic that granted Galactus his powers from him and take it for himself, becoming an all-powerful god once again. This happened in Fortnite's comics, and Galactus tried pleading for himself, telling Thor that he needed him in order to stop the Black Winter, otherwise their universe was doomed. But Thor was now certain that he could take care of everything himself, and that Galactus was just a liability. Galactus tried to fight him back, but Thor was now just too powerful, and with a blast from his hammer, he executed Galactus for all planets he has destroyed and for the havoc he's caused in his path. But that wouldn't be the last we saw of Galactus. In other comics, the appearance of some Marvel characters inside of the Fortnite universe is also referenced. Seen sitting at a table, there's Storm, Mystique, Domino, and Psycholock, who all disappear mysteriously, taken by the Bifrost. We all know this means that they ended up in Fortnite, but the hilarious part is when Gwenpool, who's also present, is asked where the others went, and she replies that it's for a tie-in. This aged very well, considering Gwenpool's now one of the skins in game, with her description saying that she played the Galactus event, so that makes her an Avenger. Another comic includes a panel of Rocket Raccoon and Groot being taken by the Bifrost onto the island of Reality Zero, and when they appear again, they're now equally confused. Rocket Raccoon starts asking Groot what the island was about and how long they were away for, but Groot doesn't remember either, so both just agree to never discuss it again. There's even a panel where Wolverine is on an important mission out in the woods when he's suddenly interrupted by the Bifrost gate taking him to Fortnite, and when he returns, you can see he's not happy. This bit even got recreated within the Fortnite Nexus War trailer. But this is where things took a crazy turn. The heroes of Marvel's universe would end up having many different appearances inside Fortnite, and now we know their fates, but Galactus has just reappeared within Reality Zero for the second time. In Fortnite Chapter 5 Season 4 Absolute Doom, his remains are found right outside of the island, and we can even see his helmet's now been damaged and has smoke rising from it. This is either a reference to Thor's execution of Galactus because of the thunder striking his helmet, bringing it alongside other artifacts from the Marvel universe to the island, or something much worse. This could be a variant of Galactus that we came to know from the universe where Doctor Doom successfully defeated all of his enemies. In the Zero War comics, Doom, who was hired by the Imagined Order, stole many different weapons and powerful artifacts from Fortnite's Ice King's castle and took them back to his own universe. Because he defeated a lot of villains as evident by his collection like Thanos, the Mad Titan, Ultron, and even a lot of different heroes, it's a big possibility that this Doctor Doom was powerful enough to destroy the Galactus of its universe, completely annihilating his body and leaving only his helmet standing completely defeated in this reality at last. Scattered across the infinite corners of reality, though, are the gods of Olympus who fled the island permanently, as revealed to us by Artemis, who was the only one of them that decided to stay. She also revealed that every family that was part of the society had direct ties to the gods, making them all descendants and explaining how they got their medallions in Season 1, because they had the power of gods within. Not all of the gods had the same fate though, as dialogues reveal what happened to Zeus after the event in Season 2. After losing his immortality, Zeus was badly injured, so the Triage Trooper found him and patched him up. While his current whereabouts are entirely unknown, Zeus's hate towards the mortals will surely be no more after his life was literally saved by one. To save all of reality though, the story finds Hope, Jones, and Shuri continuing their plan of repurposing the Stark Rift beacons that were brought into the island by Magneto last season.
Shuri thinks she can reverse the energetic flow of the Rift beacons with Rift recalibrators.
You can see this within a loading screen, and after collecting the chips needed, Shuri alongside Jones manages to reverse the Rift beacons, with the plan being to use them to rift Doom right back into the Marvel universe, exactly like they did to Galactus in the first Marvel season. The plan begins, but the Rift beacons short-circuited and failed, making it clear that there's someone who's leaked their plans, and we'll touch on this soon.
The recalibrators are short-circuiting. But why?
But in the meantime, Hope has her doubts about her really being the Hope meant to save us from Doom's tyranny.
I have no powers. I'm no master tactician. I'm just a girl with some spray cans.
She sees all these heroes around her like Shuri, who has a super suit, is a super genius, and has traveled all the way across reality to fight Doom, and Hope just doesn't think she's capable of doing the same. There's War Machine with his very own suit, Peelverine, who now has an adamantium skeleton and literal claws, and she reveals that ever since the Oracle's prophecy, she's been looked at by everyone as the leader who's gonna lead them against Doom, and on the outside, she plays that part pretty well, but on her inside, she can't really help but wonder if Pandora's box made a mistake when choosing her as the island's savior. However, what she plans on doing is to try as hard as she can. But in order to do this, she's gonna need some help from her peers. After the Rift beacons failed, Hope and Jones and the Oracle visited Doomstat, where Jones gets a feeling something strange is happening here. The Oracle reveals that since Dr. Doom can't force perfection on the island yet, he's gonna find ways to create the illusion of it. In this case, he tasked Mysterio of creating an illusion all around Doomstat, forcing the people living there to view Doom as their true leader and savior, following his commands blindly in this perfect society built by him. As you enter the POI, there's even a dark shroud of darkness activated, adding to this mysterious effect enabled by Mysterio, all a part of Doom's plan, one which will end up killing one of Fortnite's main protagonists. But once Hope sees what Mysterio's been doing, she's instantly furious, as she's been the one to stand against such overlords, robbing people of their free will and their personality. She wants Mysterio to pay for what he's done, and Jones confirms that she has the fire of a hero inside of her.
You just have to believe that it is.
It doesn't seem like much, Jones.
Believe me, it's everything.
Jones himself has went through this before too, when he decided to betray the imagined order after he understood what it was that they were really doing to the people of the island and letting all of reality just perish. With the same commonality, he reassures Hope that this is why everyone follows her lead and that she for sure is going to be able to take down Doom because of her need to stand up for those who just can't. But now it's time to reveal who it was that made the Rift Beacons short circuit, and it's none other than Emma Frost. The heroes take down Mysterio at Doomsat, and now they prepare to complete their plan by neutralizing Emma Frost so that she'll stop preventing the Rift Beacons from working. Once she's down, they're going to be able to rift Doom away for once and for all. In the midst of this all though, there's a hidden plotline being built that hints at one of Fortnite's main characters dying this season. This character is Jones, who in this chapter has went through multiple arcs and is now being teased to fall during the battle with Dr. Doom. He himself revealed that he always expects these encounters with villains to be his last every single time, which is a callback to the Visitor wanting to retire back in Chapter 3, Season 3, and we all know what happened to him just a season later, when he was consumed by Chrome and went missing until this very day. More evidence to Jones's death or retirement is the fact that all characters in the Fortnite story, Jonesy is the one that's gotten the most development, especially in this chapter. In Chapter 4, Season OG, he had to make the ultimate sacrifice by going back in time and losing his most trusted co-worker, Sloan. And the next time we saw him in Chapter 5, Season 1, he was set on a path of vengeance in order to rescue his buddy, Peely. Even Odyssey, who briefly appeared to tease the Chapter 5, Season 2 theme, saw Jones's future and told him reality is not done with him yet, and that he's wandered away from his true path. Now, in this season again, we saw him getting rid of this hate and lust for vengeance, and is now once again aiming for justice. Because he's been through all that though, it would make sense for the end of the story to be near, because in this chapter, Jones has not been the protagonist as it's been Hope all along. After Jonesy was the main character of Chapters 2 and 3, leading the 7 to battle and preventing endless crises, this chapter he's been the perfect mentor to Hope, supporting her to be a successful replacement to him, leading reality's fearless warriors to battle. And it's a common trope in stories for mentors to sacrifice themselves in order for their students to be able to avenge them and inherit their legacy, which is exactly what Jones plans to do. We all know this season Jones was given the Captain America shield from Steve Rogers himself to assist in the battle versus Doom. But in a newly revealed story loading screen, we can see that charging at Dr. Doom with the shield is Hope. Not only that, but the artist revealed the first versions with concept art for the loading screen, and there's 2 more variations that hint at Jones sacrificing himself. One of these is Hope holding a broken Captain America shield, a reference to the Captain America shield being broken in Avengers Endgame, and the other one is Hope holding Jonesy's iconic pickaxe from his current backbling. Because yes, even now in the battle pass, Captain Jonesy's pickaxe is his regular axe alongside this Captain America shield. Even in the beginning of the season, the Oracle gave us a prophecy for what is about to follow, and one of the lines might make a lot more sense right now. She mentioned that there will be a victory hidden in defeat, and right now Hope doesn't think she's worthy enough to take on Doom by herself. The theory is that in their first encounter, something is going to happen and Jones will be sacrificing himself, falling before Doom, who will crack his shield, just like in the final loading screen. Seeing her mentor and friend fall, Hope will be furious and want to still avenge Jones. This will lead her to finally having the motive to take on Doom with all of her power, using Jones's shield as a way to commemorate him. And by the way she seems to be charging at Doom in the loading screen, she's definitely seeking her revenge. And perhaps we'll finally see Hope carry Jones's legacy and officially become Fortnite's new main character in the following chapters. Doom, however, isn't going to quit very easily. He's already in the most powerful form we've ever seen him in, with his newly revealed Pandora's armor. He was forging this for the first few weeks of the season, and now is not only able to withstand the powers and effects of Pandora's box, but also use it to his very advantage. In the same loading screen where he's attacked by Hope, we can see him in a gigantic version, blasting Hope with what seems to be identical to the vortex that Pandora's boxes let out. This occurred in many different events, and it confirms that now Doom is able to use the abilities from the Pantheon of Pandora's box from season 2. But it's Doom's emote that teases what will be happening to the island if his plan succeeds. In his emote, you can see a hologram of the island right now as it stands, alongside some red markings that could target the location of each hero on the island or the places Doom considers to be imperfect. As he revealed in his very own dialogue, he'll make the island perfect by all means, and it looks like that includes him destroying it and rebuilding it in his very own image if he has to. Doom also has new dialogue, this time teasing this season's final event. When the rift beacons malfunctioned, you could hear Doom's monologue threatening Hope.
I've heard this island's cowards whimper your name in fear. Hope. You may be prophecy, but I am judgment.
Doom reveals that the island's cowards have placed their trust in her, and while she may be the subject of a prophecy, Doom is judgment. He also looks forward to their weapons crossing in battle, and he expects to find her lacking skills and will to face him. But if Doom really eliminates Jones, then Hope will find her true self and courage to beat him for once and for all. In what has to be one of the most epic live events in Fortnite history, we finally witnessed an insane battle featuring a giant Dr. Doom boss. And when I say giant, I mean he was the size of an entire POI, like a god tier villain wreaking havoc left and right. Doom used his powers gained from Pandora's box to transform into a massive titan, and this time it was the real deal, no more henchmen or Doom bots, since Victor Von Doom himself arrived on the island after he had fled it until his Pandora's armor was ready. It all started when rift beacons across the island began to light up one by one until the timer reached 0, signaling the return of some of Marvel's familiar faces. We saw Iron Man, War Machine, Gwenpool, and of course our main trio this chapter, Hope, Jones, and Peely, jumping back into action to help us take on Dr. Doom. The moment the timer ended, Hope commanded Shuri, who was responsible for working on the rift beacons, to shoot at Doom's forge on top of the snowy mountains in order to rift Doom away for once and for all.
T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, let him have it!
But as they did, they quickly realized their plan was failing, as Doom managed to shield his forge from attack using his new abilities. Making his grand entrance into the island, Doom unleashed a huge attack that pushed everyone back, preparing us for the final battle in the island's central lake. Doom's power was so immense that he immediately started blasting and stomping the loopers going up against him, quickly taking down heroes like War Machine as well. Jones tried to throw his shield at him, but all he managed to do was annoy Doom, who instantly blasted Jones, leaving him weak. Just when Doom was loading up his final strike and about to take out Jones, making us all believe that the build-up to our beloved character's death was about to come true, Hope came to the rescue, diving in front of Captain America and using his shield to protect her mentor and friend from Doom's arcane energy. It became clear that Doom's blasts were now using magic that he managed to steal from Pandora's box at the beginning of the season, making him insanely powerful. With Hope finally in front of him, he picked her up, and for a moment there it seemed all over for Hope, as the Oracle had once said Doom could have crushed her like a bug. But she had her chance and took it, hitting Doom's eye with Captain America's shield after it was supercharged with Pandora's box's magic and landed a fatal blow. Apart from slightly weakening his armor, this had almost no effect on Doom, but Hope paid the price because Pandora's box's magic was so powerful it actually injured Hope, burning her arm in the process. This is actually the reason why the new Pandora's Chosen style for heroic Hope shows her wearing a glove in her arm to cover her injury, just like teased all along. This was also a nice callback to Avengers Endgame, where Hulk suffers a similar injury in his arm after trying to wield the Infinity Gauntlet. This just shows the power Pandora's box box holds. And with the odds slightly more into our favor, multiple heroes lined up alongside loopers to help get rid of Doom for once and for all. Jumping right back into the island, it was now our turn to help in the fight because Doom's attack destroyed almost every rift beacon except for one, sending them in different POIs, and we'll touch on how this is important soon. With only one rift beacon remaining, we were tasked by the heroes to join the fight and weaken Doom's armor enough for Shuri to rift him straight back to his world, the Marvel Reality 616. In the meantime, we had the assistance of Wolverine and Gwenpool in the battlefield, all while Hope helped by bringing in supplies for us. But in the end of the event, we successfully weakened Doom enough for the rift beacon to affect him, and after it was newly charged with enough power, it shot a rift beam right at him, and not only did it strip him of his newly found powers, but it also rifted him back to his world, just like we once defeated another giant Marvel villain, Galactus, with his giant mask falling to the ground after a spectacular defeat. Before leaving, however, he gave us one final warning, which was that we can never escape Doom. This has led to many different theories, where some people think this isn't the last time we'll see Doom, and the fact that he returned to his reality without his mask is going to be a reason for his return, as we'll never be able to truly escape him, in his own words. With this season's main antagonist being gone, everyone's wondering what'll happen for the rest of the season's storyline and how it all ties together with Fortnitemares, and later we're going to be going back in time to the Chapter 2 map. And as for how, we already have our answer to that question, because teased throughout the entire season has been the imminent arrival of the Fortnite x Marvel crossover's true villain, and no, it's not Dr. Doom as many thought. From the shadows, Marvel's very own Lord of Hell, Mephisto's been watching over the whole Fortnite island, waiting to make his appearance, and thanks to this new info, we know this is happening very soon. Inside Doom's massive forge, there's this altar directly linked to Marvel's Hell realm, meaning when forging his Pandora's armor, Doom used power from Mephisto's realm for his forge. This makes even more sense because in the comics, Doom's mother, Cynthia Von Doom, who you might have seen as a statue on the map, has her soul kept in hell by Mephisto. And Doom has gone against him multiple times, but most of the time he ends up failing. It seems the reason Doom's so protective of the Forge, even in the event, has been to keep Mephisto's realm from being unleashed into our world, keeping him at bay all along. But with Doom defeated and gone from the island, there's nobody left to control Mephisto from breaking free, as it looks like he's already found his way onto the island. Mephisto's been hiding in the only place that the Lord of the Underworld would, in Fortnite's very own underworld biome once controlled by Hades. This is evident by Ghost Rider's loading screen, where we can see the silhouette of Mephisto standing menacingly and watching over Ghost Rider, as we can assume he's made some sort of pact with him. With Fortnitemares approaching soon and a bundle for Mephisto already have been leaked, we can only assume that he'll be taking Doom's place as the villain for the rest of Season 4. And this is how the damage rift beacons come into play, because when Doom threw them all around the map, they landed at these 3 different POIs. The result of this is, as a season game right now, will be them spawning a brand new Halloween-inspired biome. The leaked key art for Fortnitemares 2024 has shown that Brawler's Battleground will be completely overhauled into a spooky location filled with fog, vines, and even a big haunted pumpkin at the center of the location's altar. The other 2 POIs affected by this are going to be Restored Reels and Grand Glacier. And while it doesn't seem like it, this change may somehow be related to the storyline, as during the Big Bang event, we did in fact see a reality dedicated to Halloween's spooky festivities, and so it looks like it started bleeding onto the island. And related it is indeed, because the spooky reality we saw in the Big Bang event arrived on the island, bringing multiple Halloween decorations and Halloween creatures all over the map. There's a new pumpkin NPC at Brawler's Battleground, new Halloween skins, and the Greek underworld POI on the map has now also been overtaken by the newly arrived Mephisto NPC, who has finally made his arrival on the island after being teased throughout the entire season. And his NPC dialogue gives insight on certain characters. If you try talking to this boss as Dr. Doom, he'll reveal that Doom's mother's screams echo across his realm, confirming the theory that Doom failed at rescuing his late mother. Not only that, but it turns out Dr. Doom is now defeated for good, in contrast to previous theories, as when you talk to the boss's Hope, he explains that there's no bigger pleasure for him than defeating Victor Von Doom. Speaking of which, the Big Bang event was also the last time we saw the 0 point, as it was extracted from Loot Lake thanks to the floating cube island, and so far it's been nowhere to be found in this chapter. The only mentions we've had of it are very small teasers that are building up to its return. In Season 2, Cerberus had us look for a toy in his lake, calling it the center of everything, something that we've heard the 0 point be called lots of times in the past, not to mention it always ends up found underneath the lake in the center of the island. During last season, we heard Jones reveal that during the Big Bang event, he got lost in the 0 point, meaning it still has to exist somewhere. But now, this season, Doom was looking for it, marking its location in the central lake. Ever since preparation for the live event, the lake's been completely dried up for the event's final fight to take place there, and many of us thought Doom was gonna pull a similar move to Galactus and try to grab it from underneath in order to absorb its power, but this didn't end up happening. There is, however, still a massive chance that the 0 point will be found this season, as multiple files mention its name, and with the lake dried up, it'll be very easy for a new dig site to appear there and unearth worth it, like we've seen in the past. If that does indeed end up happening, it would be the perfect opportunity for Mephisto to try and take its power back for himself and control all of existence, giving us more of a reason to use it in order to go back in time to the Chapter 2 island. This brings us to the final theory of how we're actually going to transition from a Marvel season to Fortnite Chapter 2 OG, and how Doom's destroyed mask may still be very important. By the looks of it, this season's planned to have yet another event at the end right before the next season OG, but this one's rumored to be a massive full-scale live event. For Fortnite to be doing this, it means there's going to be a massive storyline plot building up to the end of this season, and whether this plot involves the return of the 0 Point or us facing off against Mephisto remains to be revealed. It looks like the plot of Chapter 5 from the moment Pandora's box appeared to us defeating Dr. Doom will end up coming to an end with this final event. If not for Mephisto being the next big villain due to his last line, many people speculate that Doom will return for his mask and powers and that he'll completely destroy the island, as we can see him doing in his emo. Perhaps this is what will force us to use the 0 Point and go back in time to Fortnite Chapter 2.